Hey there, I'm going to do some recordings now on some other questions. This is a mock exam question from chapter 6, and I'll do future ones on all the practice exam questions. On these, I'm going to go through fairly quickly. If this was an in-class environment, I would do this relatively slowly. I'd write out the answer on the board. You could ask questions as you go. Here you've got the solution already, so I just kind of want to walk through the calculations, what I think are key things to watch for. I will go relatively quickly because you can always pause, re-listen, etc. So this question is a construction accounting question. One thing I do want to highlight on here, and I've had students having issues with the Wiley Plus, watch the terminology in the questions. This one has costs incurred during the year and costs incurred cumulative. Questions aren't usually going to have both of those. In this question, I put them both there just to highlight the difference in that if I'm looking at total costs incurred up till 2015, if the wording in the question says costs incurred during the year, I'm going to need to add last year to this year. But if the wording in the question says costs incurred to date, or costs incurred total to date, or costs incurred cumulative, then that number in 2015, the 2,000,006 here, is my total costs incurred. Okay? So just watch the wording. It'll affect the math. So, first thing it wants is, actually, what did it want? How much gross profit should be reported for 2014? Show your calculation. So gross profit, I need to figure out percentage of completion, and then I need to figure out revenue, and then I need to figure out costs. And the costs are given, right? Costs incurred during the year, 900,000, so that's going to be my expense. My revenue is based on the percentage, so I've incurred 900,000. My total estimated costs are what I incurred of 900 plus what I expect to incur for the rest of the project of 3,000,006. So 900 divided by 4.5 million means I'm 20% done. I'm going to take 20% of the $6 million project to get $1.2 million of revenue. My expenses are what I incurred at 900, so my gross profit's 300. Okay. The next year, we're doing the same thing, except now we're doing it for a second year. So I'm going to use the costs incurred per year numbers. So I'm going to have to add 14 and 15 to get my total costs incurred. To get my total estimated costs, it's everything I incurred in 14 and 15, plus what my estimate is to complete at the end of 15. Right? It's a new number and it's in the 2015 column. You could just easily use the cumulative numbers there, right? It'd be 2.6 divided by 2.6 plus 2.4. So we're 52% complete. 52% of 6 million means I can record revenue of 3,120,000. But again, remember, that's in total to date, right? In total to date, I'm 52% done. So in total to date, I should have 3,120,000 of revenue reported. I need to subtract off what I did in prior years to get the current year amount. And my expenses are just whatever I incurred per the table in the question. Gives me a 2015 gross profit of 220. Next thing I wanted, prepare journal entries for contract assets, billing, collections, and revenue expense for 2014. So these are the standard entries. The question on the exam may not necessarily give you a list of entries to do. It might just say record the journal entries. You should be able to do them. In the class notes, if you look in the video where I covered it, I said, basically it's steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what are the journal entries? Well, I do a summary one as I incur stuff. So that's contract asset, AP materials, and the amounts just per the year that we're looking at. Then I'm going to bill it. So I'm going to create an account receivable, and if we go down to this next page and take it out of that contract asset. Then I've got collections. So same as any other collection, I get the cash, my receivable goes down. And then the larger journal entry is my revenue and expense, and that's the calculations I did above in part A. My construction revenue is the 1,000,002. My construction expenses are the 900. And the difference goes to contract asset. When I did it in class, I put 2 lines to contract asset. I would have had a credit of 900,000 and a debit of 600,000. Sorry, I said that backwards. But whether you do it in 2 lines or 1, the net result is 300,000 gets debited to the contract asset. Okay, so that is how to do a construction accounting question. These are always the journal entries you're going to have to do, and you're always going to have to calculate percentage of completion. Again, I think the key thing that students seem to have grief with is watch the wording in the question. Is it costs incurred during the year that the question gives you, or costs incurred cumulative? And then apply some logic as to how you use that. Thanks all.